Okay, now, how much of this should you be doing? Don't ask me. I'm in no position to tell anybody anything of that sort. Don't have a good enough track record of my own, but I know the rule I apply is that for all of these things, whatever I can manage, whatever you're doing, it should be more next year than this year, and more the year after that. That's part of following, and it's part of getting closer. And as you get closer to Jesus, you learn more about where He's leading you, and it's easier to follow. Easier is not the word I want. It is clear to follow. I shouldn't have said easier. That's wrong, because, okay, how do we follow? What, according to the Bible, as we follow Jesus, do we take with us? Not cheating. Carry with us. I mean, the Bible would be good, but that's not what I'm getting at. What are we to carry as we follow Jesus?
No man should follow me. He must take up his cross.
A cross. Thank you. That's, if any want to be my followers, let them deny themselves, take up their cross daily, and follow me. I heard a really good explanation of that. This is too young a generation to remember, but there used to be on 100 Huntley Street a priest named Father Bob McDougall. He was sort of the Catholic content on Huntley Street, and he actually was in the NIMO once. He's died now, but I heard him speak in the NIMO once, and he said, people don't understand that what is meant by carrying a cross, because it's passed into popular speech in a way that doesn't reflect the meaning. We all got our cross to bear. I'm poor. I've got fatal disease. I can't get along with my boss. I got trouble in my marriage. My kids are driving me crazy. That's my cross to bear. He says, no, that's not your cross to bear. It is an issue. You seek the Lord's help and grace and guidance with it, but that's not what Jesus is talking about. The cross is dying to yourself daily, dying to your own will, and adopting the Lord's will. And now I'm just really full of hot air because I haven't done very much of that. But it's there to be said, so I'll say it. And of course, the cross is not the end of the story. Because as Romans 6 says, for if we have been united with Him in a death like His, we shall certainly be united with Him in a resurrection like His. That is the end of the story. And that's where following Jesus leads us to. So, whatever we're doing as Christians now is not the end of the story. It's the beginning. What we need to begin to do is follow Jesus. And He'll take care of the rest. We've got to follow Him. So I'll finish the original reading and do it right this time. It's from Luke 5, verse 27 and following. And after this, Jesus went out and saw a tax collector named Levi sitting in the tax booth, and he said to him, follow me. And he got up, left everything, and followed him.
Well, we thank you actually for coming and speaking to us. It reminds me, I was in a church. I'm terrible in my memory lately. I don't know what church it was. I don't know what pastor it was. All I remember is he was speaking on Hebrews 12, verse 1, about being surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. And in the context of running the race. I always thought that actually meant the unsaved, the world. That we need to live good, holy lives because other people are watching us. But when I sat and heard it being exposited under this, I don't know who it was, this amazing pastor, actually shed light in a different reflection that it's actually the great cloud of witnesses is the body of Christ. So we should also throw off everything that hinders to run the race. And it just reminded me, as you kept saying, that it is a beginning, it's a start. that analogy of the race. It's a good one. It's a really good one that sometimes running the race, all I can think sometimes is pace yourself, because it's going to get worse. I'm so positive, it's awesome. But the reality is that the list, if you were taking notes, I got the list, which is awesome, because what is our theme this year? What have we been talking about? What do Christians do? Basically, Richard just outlaid the simplified format. Recap, thank you, because you basically touched on everything that we've tried to delve into. But there's no way we should just think that we can check off these things, prayer and witness and giving. Check off and done. Because really, I love how Richard's tried to inspire us tonight to think of this as this is our lives. We have our whole lives to live for this. We have our whole lives to run the race. We do need to pace ourselves. And there's times in the race, you guys all watch the Olympics. Did you watch this? I watched one day, I was stuck in Edmonton, and I had to, my mom wanted to watch the Olympics, and so that was our spending time. But the last 50K race, the Canadian that came in 5th, and he cried, and he was so apologetic, and he's like, it was his personal best, but he still was like, oh, I failed, and ridiculous. There's a whole bunch of politics I don't agree with there, but I remember that, and just seeing them, and I can't imagine, but there's still there's times, right, especially right at the end, like, boom, all of a sudden they got the power, and they're going at it, and I'm just like, it's amazing. How, like, I didn't watch the start of the race, I just came in at the end, but it was just amazing. So there's times in our lives where we will have the empowerment of the Spirit to speed up and to go for it and to give it. And that's why I love things like Kayla, and she's saying, I am so excited, I'm getting baptized. Like, that's really great, because she's in this stage of her life right now where she's given it. She's given her, you know, and there's some other of you here that is just absolutely stressed to the max. You had a reading week. It wasn't much of a break, but it was a lot of reading. Maybe you're like, you know, I just gotta pace myself. So we're all at different stages, but we're all in it, and we need to be in it for the long haul. And it reminds me too of when Glenn spoke. Remember, he spoke. Glenn's right there. Thanks, Kayla, for hope. And just being faithful to finish. And I think that's a really neat theme that I thank you for reminding us tonight that it is. It's the beginning. We can never think that we're done. We can never think that we've arrived. Until, yes, like you said, until we've reached heaven. Which will be amazing.
And then that's only the beginning too.
Yeah, that's another beginning that I can't wrap my mind around, so that's awesome.
Party.